Did you hear that sound?
Yeah.
The valve is now open, so you can put water inside the tank.
The tank is
Yeah,
okay.
the water tank. Or you can close it,
Okay.
right? Or you can put it on auto.
So auto is whenever there's pressure, it's open.
No, auto is when it's below 70%.
Uh-huh.
There's a setting here. When it's below level, start filling the water tank. Level start filling 70%. So at 70%, the valve will automatically open, and then at 80% it will stop.
That's why it never went to 90. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, that's how you control that. I increased the maximum dosage tolerance of the silo 2. I increased to 10%, because if you're making a very small batch and you're adding a very little amount of the gravel, like we will do with the new material, then it can't get that accuracy, right? So I just increased it.
Okay.
Yeah. It should in general be less than 10%. In general, be less than 5%, in fact.
Okay.
But it just really depends.
So mostly in big batches.
In big batches, it should be like less than 3%. But if you make small batches, like you will be doing, then you'll have to increase that.
Cool.
The thing is that in your conditions with your cement, you have a same one, right? A cement one. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Okay. Pure OPC. So that hydrates super quickly.
Yeah.
And then with your extremely hot temperatures, you will make a mix here that's super fluid, and when it gets to the printhead, it will be stiff and dry, right? Because it heats up in the pump, it heats up in the hose, and there's a lot of time that it spends there, and then it starts stiffening, right? So it's very important that you make small batches. If you're going to make a big batch, 300 liters of concrete, then it means that the time that the material will be like in the system will be way too long. So I decrease the batch size to 100 liters. So what you'll do, you will make 100 liters of concrete at a time, and you will make it quickly. Like all the time you will make 100 liters, 100 liters, 100 liters every day, right? Throughout the print. The thing is, okay, I will get back to that. This is fine. Not going to talk about that. Chemical 2, we're not going to use that. Okay, this is nice. You know the watt meter control? Okay, so with the time, you know when you mix a batch, there's like here a mixer load value.
Yeah.
And that can be anything between, in your mixers I've realized it's either like 35 to 40, right? And when it's in that range, you might be able to see that at the end of the mixing time, at the end of the 180 seconds, right? There might be a constant value that you have to aim for every single batch to get the perfect consistency, okay? So you can automate this, where you set this mixer motor power check. Let's say you realize that in your conditions, I would set it to like this.
Oh, so
Arrange like this. The maximum is, I would say, is about this. Let's increase. like this, right? And then you, I would say maybe 1 liter, and then mix for 10 seconds. Sorry. So what it will do, like at the end of the mixing time, it will check the watt meter control, right? And then if it's 38, right, it will add 1 liter of water and mix it for 10 seconds, right?
Okay.
And then if it's still 38, it will add another liter of water and mix it for 10
It
seconds.
gets in the range.
Until it gets in that range.
Okay.
And then it will stop.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So this is a very useful function.
Yeah.
So the issue is that this watt meter reading, it's dependent on the batch size,
Okay.
right? And it's also, I can't tell you that it's always the same. So you are still going to have a really good idea of how fluid your mix should be and what works for you during printing. And you're going to have to adjust this, baby.
Okay.
So what I always tell the customer is, don't set this right now. First, figure out what works for you with this print, with this mock-up, right? And then later on, you set it to make it easier for you. Okay.
For every project separately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
The batches and the mixes change.
no, the mix doesn't necessarily change, but the volume of concrete that you extrude changes. So remember that if you print faster, then you're putting more material out of the nozzle, right?
Yeah.
So that means that you have to make more material here to keep up.
Yeah.
The batch print has to keep up with how much material is being extruded there. Okay?
Yeah.
So you will also have to change that. And because you change the batch size,
You have to change that.
then this mixer load will differ. So this is for me like a great tool once I really know what's going on, right? And that's why I don't want, if I tell you now, always aim for 35, you're gonna go to the next site, you're gonna see it's 50, and you're gonna call me, you're gonna say, 35 doesn't work, right? Yes, it doesn't work because you changed the batch size. Okay. You with me? So this is a good tool.
Yeah.
Maybe don't use it now, and when you have experience, this is nice. Okay. Auto mixer hatch. This one. This is a level sensor that you can install here in the pump, and it looks how much material is in here.
Oh.
And then it makes this gate open. It opens.
Depending on what
How much material is here?
it's perfect.
This is perfect, right?
Yeah. And do you just install it here?
No. You have to install it underneath the grid.
And okay.
So what I would do, and this is all like automatic functions, right? What I would do, I would drill a hole here, but on the other side. Like here. And then you use an angle grinder, you cut this off. And you mount this thing on the inside.
Yeah, okay.
And you take these bolts. No, it's okay. I'm going to show you. Install it like this. So you have a hole in this, right? This one goes on the inside, and then you go through that hole. You remove this bracket. Yeah, you make a cut.
Yeah.
Right? And you install it there. You see that connection point, and just underneath that.
Okay, so right here. Oh,
Yeah. But also remember that when you open the gate, you don't want to damage the sensor. So it has to be low enough. But again, it's one of those things that some people like to use it, others don't. So I don't install it because I feel like if you want to use it, then you can install it. So you're welcome to install it if you want. But you can see application for it. At the moment, I think with the rum and the other guy standing here, you have you have enough people that you don't need that. But when I print in Copenhagen, then I need that. Yeah, I don't have anyone here. I don't have anyone here. I'm operating this whole thing, so it doesn't make sense for me to
do it all.
Yeah, I got it. So what would happen is, then you have to set the level at which it starts, right? Start emptying and stop emptying. So this means you're gonna have to determine the distance inside the hopper that you wanted to open the mixer and close the mixer.
Okay.
Right? In general, you want the material to be at this level always.
And above.
No, just this level.
Okay.
This I would say is too high.
Okay.
Okay,
So I would say, yeah. And I would say
Medium. High. Okay.
So when you print, what you'll do.
Between this maintenance
Yes.
good, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
What you'll do
Yeah.
when you print is you will dump material and you will close the mixer and you will shut off the mixer. Because if you overmix the mix, it gets too stiff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you stop it, right? And then you just keep the material in here. And then when it gets low, you add a little bit more material to get it to this level. Okay. And that you do all the day, like all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it?
Yes.
The other day we did it well,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It worked really well. The
Yes.
guy was standing here, he was saying, yeah, okay, go. And you were dumping, and it worked perfectly.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay,
What?
and if the printing was too fast
Yes.
and we couldn't catch up,
Yeah.
so we have to just tell them to stop pumping
Yes.
till we get the mix ready and we can fill it up.
Yes. Okay. But when this happens all the time, you will have to increase the batch size,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that you make more material, you can dump it, and you have more time to mix.
Yeah.
So then I would go to 150 liters. Remember, when you go to 150 liters, the mixer load, it will change, right?
Yeah.
The fiber dosage,
Yeah.
it will change as well.
Okay. I didn't see the fiber.
Yeah, I
he'll
can
be
show you
here.
when we do that.
Okay.
The reason why I keep it on this level is because this pump heats up the concrete. There's a lot of, if you put your hand during printing, you put your hand inside here, you feel it's hot, right? So it heats up the material when it's in here, and the agitator, it mixes it further. So
Yeah,
the
it
pump
is
makes the
the-
material stiffer. Okay,
Yes.
that's why it will be fluid here and very stiff at the end.
Okay.
And the longer you keep the material here in the pump, the stiffer it gets.
Yeah.
Don't bargain on that, right? Don't think that the material is very or like too fluid here. I'm gonna put it in the pump. It's gonna get stiffer, right?
Okay.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't try and hack the system. Just saying that keep it low here to make sure that your material there is consistent.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Very important thing. Okay. So this one you can install if you want. I leave it to you.
Okay.
This one is also, if it's open like this, it's not installed, basically. Okay. Where are we now? Mixer and game. Silo logistics. General settings. Okay. Recipe. This is the one that we used previously. It worked fine, to be honest.
The same mix.
Yeah,
this is a mix is good.
I
Because the
decreased
water-
the water a bit, right? It worked okay. It printed well for like 4 layers, and then it would clog. Most likely because the cement is setting too fast.
Too fast?
Yeah. If we had a SEM 2, would have been a different story. Yeah. Because you could see that it's because the material is way too long in the system,
Yeah.
right?
And the hydration is fast.
Yeah, the hydration is way too fast. So, yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. It worked fine, but it worked only for 4 layers, and then it clogged because it was too stiff, getting too stiff. So what I did, I modified it completely. I increased the binder a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I increased the gravel, decreased the gravel, sorry,
Sand, yeah.
and increased the cement, sand, yeah. And then because of I had more surface area, so I had to add more water. This is about it, and then the chemical one is more or less the same. So this is I call it defab smooth. And with your raw materials, to be honest, this will be the only like long-term feasible mix.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can tell that to the doctor as well. That
So if we use different cement, it might be better.
no, different sand and gravel.
Different sand.
Yeah. Because the sand and gravel isn't according to the specifications, right? I don't know if you know this.
Yeah. The gravel, I think I know, but the sand, is it?
No, it's not.
Why is that?
It doesn't. You can see in the specifications. It says it has to pass a certain amount. A certain amount of the particles has to pass a certain sieve size.
Yeah.
And this sand doesn't do that.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
So, yeah. The thing is, if you want
minimum sewage, how much this is aggregates and all sand.
the what?
Minimum sewage, like at 10 mm we have to minimum the aggregates, right? Now we'll be using for the 10 mm is the aggregates now we're using.
Yeah. So yeah, you can also go like honestly, I would go for a smaller gravel
Yeah.
because it's crushed. Then we always go for a smaller one. If you had round aggregates,
Yeah.
round gravel, we could go for the 9.5 that you have.
Yeah.
But because it's crushed, you have to go smaller. You have to go like below 8, yes. Maybe even 6. Not 6 maximum particle size, right? But 6 are sort of the mean particle size.
Yeah. Being good to work with. Of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
So yeah, but if you want to reselect your raw ingredients, just send the data sheets to us so we can help you, because it makes a big difference. And you can print with the old recipe, the original defab, if you pay attention to selecting the correct raw materials. But if we have the material that we have to, like today, we will have to use this more expensive smooth mix, yes. Because this is much more expensive, right? This is 20-30% more expensive. Yeah, so this one would work. I mix it only for 120 seconds.
Okay.
Because I could see that it's homogeneous in the mixer. And then because the material hydrates so quickly, I don't want to mix for additional 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So just quickly mix it, right? And then you can dump it. And then your mixing time is much shorter, so you can make a lot of small batches, right?
Yeah.
The slurry, I have a slurry mix that I modified. It was too fluid.
Yeah, you increase the cement? Or
Yeah, no, I decreased the water.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then what we'll do is we will start with a slurry of 100 liters.
Okay.
100 liter slurry, dump it, pump it, remove the excess, right? By opening the gate, close the gate. Batch, 100 liters of the batch. Okay. Then the first one we check. Okay. We see if it's fluid. It's probably going to be fluid, right?
Yes.
The second batch we make immediately after, because there's only 100 liters of concrete in the pump, and you're priming the hose now, right? So all the material you will have to need immediately. You will need another batch of concrete, right? Yeah. Because it's about 200 liters before the concrete reaches the printhead. So 2 batches immediately after each other. Okay. Now you have this whole system full of concrete. Now you start extruding, and you extrude in a big bag. You don't start printing immediately, okay?
Yeah.
And you extrude and until you see...
Slurry, and then you see the concrete?
Yes, then you see the concrete now. But even if you see the concrete, you're not done yet, right? Then the material here will be low. right? And then you have a chance to make a new batch. And based on what you saw there, you have to change this batch. If it was too fluid, then you
So
decrease.
based on what I see there, not in the mixer.
No. Yeah, okay, wait. It's sort of,
Both?
you want your end, yes, both. You want your end product to be good, okay? But you look at the end product at the when it's being extruded, and you see what is wrong, and you correct it here.
Okay. So
And
I
then
can check from
the
here.
corrected one,
Uh-huh.
you remember,
Yeah.
and you make the next batches
Same.
the same.
Okay.
Okay.
So a
It's,
bit of
I
both.
know it's difficult. It is difficult.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, they get us, right, to do this. Okay. So you start with this. This is called the water correction. It can add a little bit more water to every batch. Okay. So what it will do, if you say plus 2 kilograms, it would add 2 kilograms of additional water per cubic meter. That's very important.
Okay.
It's not for the batch.
So not, yeah.
It's not for the 100 liters. It's per cubic meter. So it's this value,
Yeah.
right? So it increases this water, the 240
241.
242.
Or 2. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. As so you the third batch you change, right? Either you go down a little bit. If it's way too fluid, then go down with 5. If you want to adjust a micro dose adjustment, then you go down with 2 or 3,
Okay.
right? 10 is too much.
Too much.
Yeah. So it's normally just maybe 2.
Okay.
It's a little adjustment.
So 5 is like.
5 is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
5 is a lot already. Then it's like, okay, it's not really working,
Uh-huh.
right? It's like flowing out
Yeah,
of the,
okay.
or it's like you could see that it looks super dry when it gets there, and then you see, okay, now I have to add more water, right? And then you add 5.
Cool.
But if it's a little bit dry, then you're like, okay, let's just do a 2 liter. Add 2 liters of water. Okay. So now, then there will be a pause, right? Because you now have to, the third batch you will have to make now. The third one, because you adjusted the mix, then you have to make the new batch.
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah.
This thing only takes effect with the new batch.
Okay.
When there's concrete inside here, the only way you can change that is by pressing chemical 1.
Yeah.
But then you don't know how much you add, right? So
Yeah.
then you already have to have a good feeling of what the material should look like. But so the best way to adjust the mix is by this water correction. But then that's the next batch. And that's why I said the third one is important. You have to be here before he starts number 3, the third batch. So now slurry is not counted, right?
So it's ready. So in the first mix,
Yes.
then we see the end product.
No, you won't see the end product yet with the first one because it's only 100 liters.
Uh-huh.
It will only fill half of the hose.
Okay.
So the second one,
When we
So
are
the
ready
second
for
is the
this,
same as the first.
second is the same as the first.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then you'll see the end product. Maybe.
But this one I have to check before dumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone you have to check.
Okay.
Initially especially on startup, so you know what's going on, right? The third one you have to adjust. So because there's going to be concrete being extruded there, right? Okay. Good. So the third one is important. Now let's say you said, okay, the mix was a bit dry. Okay, right? So you added 2 liters of water. Now he's going to start the 4th batch. And now already we started printing, right? So then you can see, okay, well, it's still a bit dry. So then you add 2 more liters.
Okay.
And this value stays. So if
For
he,
all next batch.
so yes, exactly. So if he just starts the batch and continue, then this 4 would stay. The next batch, still 4.
Step.
Still
So I
4.
don't have to come back and check.
No, you don't, right?
Okay.
So if it's working and it looks good, don't change.
yeah, they are
Okay.
same. Why?
Okay.
If any stiff, you have to change this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I want you
Okay.
to tell him
Sure.
when it doesn't look right.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
And then he changes this.
Sure.
Is that fine?
Yes.
And then you look to see how much he changes. So you also learn.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Let-
he will check the one in the mixer and he will see, or I will check how
no,
it
you
is.
both check first.
Okay.
You both check first, right?
Yeah.
And then if everything is going well, remember that day
Yeah,
we
yeah,
printed
yeah,
together,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
I was checking. Initially, it's very important. I check all the time with
Yeah.
you, right?
Yes, yes,
And
with
then
me.
later on, you see how it should look.
Yes.
So you just make the
That's the
same one.
flooring. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You just make the same one.
Sure.
And when you see it's a little bit dry, then I come to you.
Yeah.
I ask you, is
Yeah,
it dry?
so-
How's it looking? And you tell me it's a little bit dry. Then I add more water here,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
This is the way that we do
And
it.
how much is it in, like, 1 kilogram in here? How much
Yeah.
is it in the set point?
And the set point, well, it would be 10%, so it would be 400 milliliters. Because we're making 100 liters.
100 milliliter. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so this is our mix. And then when it comes to the fibers, as soon as the counter starts, this counter, it completed dosing
Yeah.
all the things, right? So then the counter will start, and then you can add the fibers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't climb on this
Because
while
then it
it's
will change.
yeah, exactly. So you can't climb on this when it's still adding the various things.
But when it starts mixing, I can.
Yes.
Okay.
And what I suggest is you sort of have a few, like I always get Tupperware, or the clients always get like Tupperware, you know, like a nice, the ones that you use in the
Yeah, yeah.
kitchen, right?
Yeah.
And you have like 3 of them and you weigh them before, the same quantity, and you add them.
Cool.
I cut a grid, or we cut a grid inside the grid so you can add the fibers.
Oh, okay.
So there's a small
Already
hole.
cutting. Yes.
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. With the fibers, I suggest you start with.
And how do they affect the mix?
It makes it drier,
Yeah, much drier or like.
a little bit drier. It depends on the dosage.
Okay.
I didn't like. We could print fine with them. It wasn't an issue. It was nice. I like having them in the mix.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah. Because it prevents. You know that when it's being the mix is dry, a little bit dry.
The cracking.
There will be like filament tearing. It's called.
Okay.
When you're printing, right? And immediately after the nozzle, there's like lines. I'll show you.
The teeth.
No. You see this one?
Yeah, what's this?
This is not a crack, right? This is just that material couldn't extrude, right?
Okay.
And the fibers also prevent this.
Okay. How do they prevent it?
Well, it's like they're also like in this, like a line like this, right?
Yeah.
So they keep everything together.
Yeah.
So I always like having like maybe 0.1% of the volume of the mix. That's a very low dosage. Okay, so when I say 0.1%, it means 1 kilogram per cubic meter of fibers. So remember this, 1 kilogram per cubic meter. That's the minimum dosage. The maximum dosage for your material will be probably 2 kilograms per cubic meter. 0.2% of the volume of the meat. Okay? Don't get this wrong. Some clients, they add 20 kilograms. 20 kilograms, so 10 times more. And then they have clogs. And then they call me. And they say, I have clogs. And then I'm like, of course you have clogs.
Minimum
20 kilogram in fibers. Too much.
1%.
Yeah.
2.2.
So it's an easy calculation. When your batch is 100 liters,
It's 100 grams is fine.
Exactly. Easy.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
If your batch is 100 liters, it's 100 grams of fibers.
yeah.
So it's very little, right? Just 100
Yes.
grams. If you go to 150 liter batch, right? How many grams?
150 is 150.
Yeah, 150 grams of
Yes,
fiber.
150
Okay.
grams will be take the 5
Yeah,
bars.
and that's at the 0.1% of the volume of the batch. Okay, got it? You with me? Okay. If you go to, like I would say, if 0.1 works well for you, then go to 0.15 of fibers. So you, because it controls the cracking, right? And with this mix, you will be quite vulnerable to cracking. Okay. So that's the fibers. I wanted to show you something more.
This rod always in the building also using for this.
Yes, yes.
हम लोग
If it's printing fine.
Too much.
If it's clogging. And it will probably clog the nozzle.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably clogs the nozzle, not the hose, right?
Okay.
It clogs the nozzle.
Okay.
So if you see it's clogging the nozzle, then you know it's too much. Then you reduce it. But I haven't pushed that limit yet.
Okay.
Today maybe we can. Let's go for 0.15 today and see how it goes.
Okay.
And if it works, then we continue with 0.15.
Cool.
Okay.
And do you know, like, how do you know the clog is from the fibers, not from the material itself?
Because without the fibers, it doesn't clog at the nozzle. We printed with, yeah, I've printed with 0.1% here, right?
Yeah.
This existing print has 0.1%, so I know 0.1 will work.
Work.
Yeah, it works
won't clog.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to go up.
Okay.
We had an issue the other day where, where when the cement is being added, right? If we put too much cement inside the silo, right? Above the grid is incorrect. Yeah, too much, right? Then there's a lot of weight pushing down here. And then when you take some of the cement, it adds like a void here at the bottom, inside, right? So what you do, you always keep the cement underneath the grid,
under the grid.
never
Okay.
overfill it,
Okay.
only underneath the grid.
Sure.
And even when it's underneath the grid, when it's adding the various components to the mix, right?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Way above the grid.
Yeah. When it's adding, right? So when you start this batch, it's going to silo 1, and then it's going to lose cement, right? And then you look at this tolerance, and initially this tolerance is going to be 100%, minus 100%. Then it's going to go down 90%, 60%, 40%, 30%, and then at some point it might stop. And then it stays 30%, 30%, 30%. Then you know the silo, there's
It's
something
empty.
wrong.
Yeah, okay.
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 If it goes directly to under 5%,
This
good.
is yes.
you
Yeah.
still stand here.
Yeah.
You look at these values.
Okay.
Make sure that they are going down.
Yes.
If they don't go down, there's something wrong. Okay. Then you have to go investigate.
Sure.
Maybe you're out of the plasticizer.
Yes. That
Plasticizer
also.
one, you're out, right?
Yes.
Because you didn't put the new container in the morning.
Yeah.
Maybe you're out of sand.
Yes.
Right?
We'll fill it already.
You have to refill.
Yes.
Okay. But you have to see that before.
We'll be starting the printing. We'll check 3.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But you have to sort of catch that the cement is not adding before you get the error.
And how
Yes.
does he solve it?
Okay, I'll show you. You take one of those wooden things, and you take a Hit it like 10 times on
चाहिए?
this side, 10 times on the other side, 10 times on this side, 10 times on the other side, and you just it will fall. Yeah. It's normally quite easy. Like the other day, I was hitting it like 3 times,
Okay, so the tolerance won't go down.
and then you can see it there, right? It will fall there.
So when there's a void, it will stop pumping anyway.
No, it will try and it will keep on pumping.
But the weight won't be.
The weight won't be affected. Exactly. It's the same with the sand when the sand runs out. So then you just see there, okay, it's not filling. Bam, bam,
So
bam.
you don't stop
okay, it
anything.
starts filling there. Okay.
If you don't stop
No, you don't have to.
even with the sand. Like when the sand is below level.
Okay, let's say you run out of sand, right? Sand is the first thing that you add. So you added, let's say 60% of sand, right? And now the count or the weight doesn't change. So it's always like 30%, 30%, 30%, right? And now there's a warning that will appear after 120 seconds. That's programmed. And then what you'll do is you don't accept the warning. You just let it, you don't do anything, right? You get the guy to bring the sand, he refills the sand, and then you dose the sand manually.
Okay.
Yeah, you dose the sand manually, right?
Okay. Silo 1, silo 1.
Silo 1, silo 1, silo 1, right? Until you see on the weight that you have
before-
almost reached the value.
That value. Okay.
Right? And then you say accept and you say continue dosing. Continue dosing. Got it? Or resume
Can we see it?
dosing.
Yeah, resume. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't think it's.
And it's blinks here, right?
Yes, exactly. Not restart dosing. It's accept weight errors. That's the one.
Yeah,
You press,
waiting
there
for
will be
the
this one, right? That comes here. And then that one you say acknowledge. Okay? And then this one will flash yellow. And then you accept weight errors.
After
After adding the cement. And then, the sand, sorry. Then the sand, it will still say minus 30 here. But you know because you added of silo 1.
weight changes.
The weight will change, yeah. Okay, so if you say, okay, sand should be about 100 kilograms, that's the first one that's being added, so it's easy to calculate quickly in your head. You add just more or less, right? Just try and get it close. And then you accept weight errors, and then it will continue to the cement. And it will continue. Everything will add. Then you check the batch. If the batch is too fluid, then you add a bit of cement. Or you over mix it, continue mixing it, that's another way. It's not as effective as adding cement, right? If it's too stiff, then you add a bit of plasticizer. So then you continue, and you don't freak out, right? You're just like, okay, this is like let's think about this logically. How can we quickly solve? How can we correct this mix? If you run out of cement, and so what happened the other day is Ram accepted, right? And then he, without adding more cement,
Yeah, less.
he said
yes.
accept weighing errors. Then it
went down to the second.
so it was minus 30% on the cement, right? So then accept, acknowledge, accept weight errors, and then it would continue with this minus 30% cement to all the others, right? And then the only way that you can really fix the mix is by adding cement, but then it's after everything else, so then the material will get very stiff.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Too late.
too late. Just call it a day. It was also late. It was already like 4. So, okay. Supplementary water. This one is just for the batch. Supplementary water. So if you add water like this, it will count how much it adds.
Okay. So you don't have to see the mixer weight. You can see it.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is for the batch, so this is for the 100 liters. of concrete, right? And then temperature, this is very important. Very, very important. You will see that during the day this increases. Then you will have to make the mix more fluid here. Because if you add water at a higher temperature, the concrete will stiffen quicker. Because it stiffens quicker, it will be drier at the nozzle.
Yeah.
So you will see, you will see that you have to increase this probably about 2 kilograms every next or every second mix.
Okay.
You will have to increase this, and at the end of the day, you will be probably somewhere like this.
And that's because of the water temperature.
Everything, the temperature of everything, your mixer, your pump, your hose, everything increases, and then the mix has to be more fluid.
Okay, so you can't stay at the same. You never stay at the same level.
You will always have to add more water.
And here, let's say it's 1 kilogram. It's per cubic meter or?
No, exactly. That's a good question. This one is per batch.
Per batch.
Yeah. So
it's the same as the mixer weight.
yeah. So if you add 1 kilogram of water, right, per 100 liters of the batch, then how much do you add per cubic meter?
So if you add 1 here,
Yeah.
you said it will be here. So it's at the set point. It's 1 kilogram.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The set point is 1 kilogram, but how much is it for the 1
What's
cube?
the ratio?
So if I make this size, right?
Yeah. So it's 0.1.
Almost.
10.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
10.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. But those calculations you have to make quickly.
Oh, yeah.
You will get experienced in that. So 1 kilogram of water here for the batch of 100 liters. The set point will basically change with 1 kilogram of water, and then the recipe you actually change with 10 kilograms of water, which is a lot. That's a big change.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could see it like 10 kilograms. That's the maximum change that I would do on a mix. 5 kilograms, that's like an intermediate. 2 kilograms, that's maybe the minimum. Okay, so see it like as a small adjustment, a medium adjustment, and a big adjustment.
2, 5, 10.
Yeah. No. 2, 5, 10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you said. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. Okay, so the 10 one you always use when you calibrate a recipe. For the first time you use a new gravel, then you might have to use the 10. Probably you will never use the 10. Right? This mix is not going to change like this, that you have to add 10 liters of water more, right? Or less. The 5 you might have to do some days, right? And then the 2 you will have to do every batch.
Okay. So
Maybe.
It's increasing to not increase.
Maybe. Let's see how it goes, right? Yeah, you'll see that today. Okay. Now we can go over to other systems.
Where do we pick the fiber?
It's over there at the entrance of the container.
Fiber?
Yeah.
Fiber will be here.
Yeah. But the other bags are there, right?
Yes,
The new
sir.
ones.
Yes, new burgers.
And as for the chemicals pump, do you fix those? The pump.
Yeah, you can just prime them, right? I showed them a new method of priming the pumps. You have this hose, right? And they will show you.
Yeah.
Does the chemical pumps work?
Yes.
Both of them, they work, right?
Yes, almost.
Now with the pump, remember you will keep the pump low, right? Always the agitator on. The vibrator, we only turn it on when we're filling,
Yes.
right?
Definitely.
We're doing a good job as
Yes.
we have been doing.
Before that.
We just keep it like that. Then the pump, we do it remotely, as always. Remember, when the printhead is there with the big bag, right? And you pump on local to not overfill the printhead.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
If I just pump, the material will just continue flowing into the printhead and the printhead will overflow.
Yeah.
So what you do, you make the two batches.
We don't do it.
No, I tell you now.
Remote.
You make the two batches of concrete, right? Yeah. So first the slurry, you pump you pump on local.
Okay,
Yeah,
local.
you pump here. Okay. You pump it. It's full. You stop. You take out the slurry. Blah blah blah. You fill the two batches of concrete, right?
Point one.
The first one,
Yeah.
right? If the first one is in, then you can tell that guy, okay, I'm going to remote. Then you go to remote and you tell him to extrude.
So not pump.
Yeah. When he extrudes, the
Yes,
pump will go on
automatically.
automatically.
Oh, okay.
You know this?
No, I didn't.
Because this is
No,
rolling,
when he does it
will coming down.
He does it on the remote, in the
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I thought you were.
No, bro.
I mean he has to extrude. Just extrudes. Just spin the
This one.
extruder.
That one you can remove the material going down.
And then the pump will go, the slurry will be pushed. Oh no, not the slurry, the mix, the first batch. And then at some point it will be empty. That guy, he won't know it will be empty. So you have to tell him to stop. Then Ram will probably have the next batch ready, almost ready.
Yeah.
But this has to be quick, right?
Sure.
So we have to know, you will get
When
more
we will-
exercise in this,
Yeah.
you will work better as a team, but then you will probably have the next batch ready and you dump it, right?
Yes.
And then this one is full, and then you can tell that guy, he can continue.
Cool.
Right? And then we just extrude a bit in the big bag, extrude, and you walk there, you look at the material, you
Good.
come back, you make sure that this is enough material, right? And then you change the third one. It's very important because that is the one that you adjust. Yeah.
After the third, we start pressing.
Yeah. If you're happy with the material, then you stop.
Let's so. Okay.
No, maybe third. Could be third, maybe fourth. Just give. Yeah.
Cool.
But you don't start if you're not happy with the material, right? You have to know when it's ready or not. Okay. Okay, then this one. No, one more thing. The pumping speed. He can't control that.
Okay.
So you have to stand here, and while he's printing, you have to listen to this pump. And what you want is for it to always work. Okay. So what this thing does, it tells the pistons how quickly to move, right? So if it's very high, let's say it's set on 2, right? This is 2. You see?
Oh, okay.
2. You see there on the thread?
Yeah,
it says
yeah,
the 2 and then 0. So that's 2. Okay. Then the pistons move like this very quickly, right? So it pushes the material into the printhead very quickly.
Okay.
That will increase your pumping pressure. So it would put you at risk of clogging, right? So you want that pumping pressure to be as low as possible,
Yeah.
right? So what you want to do is you want to pump as slowly as possible. Have a constant stream of material flowing into the hopper, right? So you want to match how quickly material flows in to how quickly material flow out of the hopper.
Okay.
So to do that, you want the pump to always move. So you will hear it go on, and it should be almost always on. But remember, if it's always on, it can also mean that it can't keep up, right? That the material in the printhead is going too low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So in my experience with this print and the layer height that we're doing now, because the layer height obviously affects how quickly the material flows out, right? So remember that. But I was printing at, I think, 1.7 or 1.6 even. But I can show you how to adjust that.
Okay.
As slow as possible, that's the point, right?
Okay.
You want to be as slow as possible so that the material there flows in constantly.
Cool.
tried something else here than you are used to. I mixed
Yeah,
the
they told
stiffener
me. Yeah.
and the accelerator in this container. You're welcome to continue in this way. I think it's the best way for you.
What does it do? So
So the accelerator accelerates the hydration reaction,
Yeah.
and the stiffener it gives you the stiffness, right? And we need both.
And you don't want to add the accelerator from there?
No, because they don't want to pump it inside the hose, right? Because you already have this super fast hydrating concrete.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, we mix it.
Half.
No, 1 to 5
1 to 5. Right. Okay.
or 1 to 6.
Okay.
You decide.
Depending on.
If you have buildability issues,
Then
you maybe want to add more accelerator. So you can also go to 1 to 7, but I've just did 1 to 5.
To 1 to 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the stiffener is
To accelerator.
yeah, the stiffener is the small one.
The one.
You add very little amount of stiffener.
Okay.
And then this one, if the material gets too stiff, then you can decrease it. Right? You were used to pumping at like something like 700. You were used to using it like this, right? But then I mixed the two. You probably now have to use it at full.
So the half,
7.5. Okay. And then it's liters per hour, you see? It's liters per hour. You put this one on full? Because you want to add the maximum amount of accelerator.
Okay. That's the maximum.
That's the maximum. The pump can't go quicker. So you run it at the maximum, but that's good enough for you, really. This is a really good buildability of the material that we have here.
Okay. And if we need more than that, what
no, you don't need more than that.
We never need.
No.
So we just decrease it if we need it to.
Yeah, exactly. Rather add too much, because you have then you accelerate the hydration reaction even more. Then you can print quicker.
Yeah.
Then you can finish your building quicker. Then you can get off site quicker.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. The thing is with mixing the two is that this material will go off. The mix will go off.
What do you mean?
It will go bad, like sour milk.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So what you want to do is over weekends, you want to, like if you, maybe on the Monday, you want to throw out the old ones.
So,
right?
Yeah, every week one euro.
Yeah, you make a new batch of the whatever.
Yeah.
And then you use that for the week. And then on the Monday you throw it out. But remember that there's some things in the hose. There's liquid in the hose. So you have to, at the end of the day, just on the Friday, put water in here, pump water into the whole thing, right? So you clean the hose basically. And then on the Monday, you make the new batch and you pump for a long time so that you make sure that all the water is out of the hose until it's stiffener going in. You might even want to color. Use colorant.
Okay.
You add colorant to this.
To know that
the whole hose is full.
Yeah, okay.
It's very important because you don't want to add water when you're hoping that you're adding accelerator. Yeah. Otherwise you will have buildability. Huh? So I would add some colorant to this.
Any color, so like full color you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I don't think food coloring would be an issue.
Cool.
What is you also have that pigment, right?
Yeah, the powder one.
Yeah, maybe you want to add a bit of that to this.
Oh, from the powder.
To color it. I mean, you have it here already. So.
Want to do it now? Or by the end of the week? Or for the
whatever.
We will do it, yeah.
Not to color the concrete, but just to make sure that the hose is primed. Okay. Then, like this, now today, I would add more to this to keep it full. And this material is also a bit old now already. I don't want to throw it out, but I just want to be conscious that it would go off.
Okay.
So I would add now 1 unit of the stiffener and then 5 units of the accelerator to this. Okay. Do you know how to operate this pump? Okay.
Never.
So you can start it like this. Now it's stopped. You see there? Stop.
Okay.
And now
Now it's
it will run.
okay.
As soon as they extrude, this thing will go on automatically.
Okay.
And then you will see a green light here.
Have to change the.
So when it's working, it will make a green light.
How to change the number?
Okay?
First?
Press. Yes. Yes. Analog scale. Yes, exactly. Up and down. Yes. Okay, good. Now let's say you can also turn it, then you can go here to info. You see here, flashing, there's alarms, there's settings, and there's a back. Okay. And you can go, let's say you want to go to settings. There's a lot of settings.
Okay.
This is the book of the pump, and you can read this if you want. So today, to prime it, this is the priming button, so it activates the pump.
Manually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's say you want to run it like that, then you want to stop. Okay, you want to run it on the Monday morning. You want to get all the water out, right? So you keep it in while turning it, and then when you want to get it down, just... Okay.
Okay.
Remember the connection, right? This one
Yeah.
connects the pump to the printer to tell the printer to go on. Very important. And then this one you have to set. Right, this is the level in the hopper. Over there.
Of the computer.
And you probably want to set it to 55 and 60. This is a good level.
55, 60.
Yeah.
For a
Keep
hopper.
it at that level. So what it means is that at 55, the pump will go on. And then it will pump to 61. And then extrude, 55,
down.
go on.
Pump.
And you want the pump to go on all the time.
Okay.
If it doesn't go on, the pump is pumping too quickly.
55 and 61.
Do you understand that? I'm just going to say it again because it's just to make sure, right? So if the pump is going, right, then it fills this hopper all the way up. Too much, right? Then the material is inside the hose for 5 minutes and it's just standing still. Right? Not good.
You need to keep moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we put the pump very slow. It just keeps on pushing a little bit of material.
Okay.
Right? To just maintain this level in the hopper. Right?
Okay.
Then because this level is constant, this one is going to be mixed in well. Right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be uniformly added.
Cool.
So that's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, that's the stuff now. Okay, you can just stand on this side. This thing, it's a new one. This is where the stiffener will be added. Okay.
Yeah.
So you disconnect this on. Then you can
Why
take it out.
you changed it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is just better. The other one's plastic.
Yeah,
It's pretty shitty, right?
Okay, yeah.
Just from China. This one is good. And then it's important that this is kept clean, and that at the end of the day, that this is not full of concrete.
Okay.
So when they do their dry run, right, you have to have that thing activated so that you can see that the stiffener and the accelerator is actually being added to the mix. Because as soon as we start printing, you can't verify that. Right? So you have to make sure that it's actually flowing out of the nozzle, the accelerator and stiffener during their dry run. That's the best way to check it. Right? And then when you put this, remember this thread, not good with concrete, right? Just keep this clean with a brush. The best way to keep concrete off this whole thing is to use the WD-40 and spray it just everywhere. On the inside, on here, it keeps the concrete off. It doesn't stick, right? So that's the best way. Also with the mixing equipment.
Use the clog, huh?
Yeah, I will teach you that now. So when you orientate this thing, just do it like this.
Okay.
Okay. I would actually, I want to change this. I think it's too far in. I want actually a bit back. Like this. You see?
Okay.
So what I have to do, I have to move this ring. There's a ring there. That they now move.
क्या हो रहा है बोला
This ring.
किसका को
That has to be in the collective with you.
वो नहीं है मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये क्या हो गया
तो ज़्यादा नहीं है अंदर ब्लेड
And when you sort of,
पता नहीं क्या हो गया कल ये लोग कोई मारा है
when
इसको
you
इधर
tighten this,
कल ये लोग हैमर
it
मारा
locks
इधर
it
नीचे
on that
उसका
ring to the
मुंह पे याद है कुछ आइडिया
Yeah, you can see this.
नहीं आप गए बाद में कोई आदमी इधर नहीं आया आप लोग अभी होता है वो टाइम का जस्ट क्लीन किया बस
Because it has to be added.
ये लोग ये क्लीन करने के टाइम में 8 बजे हो गया वो भी इधर क्या क्लीन करेंगे
This one we changed. So we took off that short hose and we put on these connections. It's much better. When you have a clog, it will probably be in this area. So that's the first thing that you have to check. But we've had enough clogs that you guys
yes
know
yes
what to do.
that is the small one
Remember that when the hose is flat on the ground,
okay
you can't use the water.
okay
When you want to use the water, the hose has to be vertical. So all the water, it runs out.
okay
You with me? If you have the hose flat on the ground and you put water there, it will cause a clog. Because the water will just go into the mix and it will dilute the paste and just leave the aggregates behind. So if you add water to the front, it has to run out everything. Okay. Very important. Otherwise you will just have a clog immediately. I mean this is fine. On the flaps,
एक फ्लैप गायब है
आज का फ्लैप हो जाएगा नहीं हो जाएगा बाबा अभी कितना टाइम
1 बजने को
हाँ
can I just tell you about the printing?
हाँ
Can I teach you about printing?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
not going in we're trying to figure out maybe to clean it up
What's wrong? Why would it not go in?
Did you guys face any issues over the weekend with school? Today it doesn't go as good. Thiago thinks someone hammered it, but nobody was hammering it with it. So right now I guess we're just cleaning it up and cutting it. Okay.
It looks actually a bit thin. Yeah, but it can also get the...
ये थोड़ा क्रॉस हो गया लगता है मेरे को ऐसा क्रॉस हो गया लगता है इधर से देखेगा तो मेरे को और हार्ड है ना मतलब बोल रहा है
रॉड का प्रॉब्लम नहीं है
हाँ
वो अंदर नहीं जा रहा है उसका मुंह में वो बड़ा वाला है ना screw,
हाँ
वो अंदर नहीं जा रहा है
Yeah, okay.
अच्छा
So the first layer, you put on this small flap. Okay? Then you probably...
छोटा वाला है दूसरा फ्लैप भी नहीं है पता नहीं क्या है
where you sliced will be at this height. But the first layer, it's very important that we get it very close to the existing print. So we do a very low layer and we just even everything out. The reason why, if you